Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Friday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Welcome to Good Morning with Reganelite here on Friday, the 20th of March, 2026. Today it's officially spring here, down here in England, and actually, like I said, there's a quote here for today. For today's quote, it actually makes it official, actually, as well. So, if you haven't already said welcome to spring, oh god, for a second now I thought I was about to be sick. God, that wasn't very good. For those, I'm okay there. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who came to the round table last night. Really appreciate it. If you missed the round table, please check it out with myself, One Angry Pagan, Graham Price of Power to the People, and Daily Blase, who, yes, he did turn up late, but he did join us for the last half an hour or so as well. So if you haven't seen that one, please join us for that. And I've already put up a post for the date for the next round table. We've already got myself, Dave McGuinness, who we just, as many of you guys just saw, doing the Good Morning show, the morning paper round for Scotland at 10:30, just half an hour ago. He showed there. He will be joining myself and Daily Blase for that. I'm trying to get one more person. There is one person in particular I'm trying to get a hold of. Because for that, someone we haven't had on the round table for a while, so hopefully I can get that person in. And there's one or two others I want to get for for May's one. I've got to be careful with May though, because I do have a holiday planned in May, going to Scotland, as I've said to you guys as well. What else is there as well? So for those who are new to this live stream, because I like to remind people, obviously not everybody here is, there's always the occasional new viewer watching this. So normally we go for roughly about an hour long here on the Good Morning show. I give today's daily quote. We have a look at the weather forecast for the next couple of days, which shouldn't take too long considering the weather's not too much of a change in patterns. And then we have a look at the weather. And today we're going to be looking at both UK and global news. So we're going to be looking at, for example, The Guardian, the Associated Press, Sky News, Al Jazeera, BBC, New York Times. That basically going to be going back and forth between UK and world news. So we're going to look at everything that we can do here. Also, guys, I'll be getting out short videos at some point today for the weekend and for Monday as well, because I want to try and get that done before the weekend as well. No promises, but I am going to try and record some main videos over the weekend for you guys as well. That's something I want to try and get back into the habit of doing. But it depends how much time I get to do them and how my voice holds up as well. So, because I don't want to overdo my voice. As many of you guys know, I overdid my voice a lot in the past. So I do need to bear that in mind. But I will try to do some videos for you guys. But you're still going to get, as we saw this morning, we had, as you saw this morning on the channel, Daisy did her usual video, and then of course tomorrow you'll have another Speaking My Mind episode, and then this Sunday you'll have another lovely good news story there as well. And also one more thing before I say hello to the chat. If you wasn't coming from Dave McGuinness's show, there's lots of great YouTubers and live streams coming on today. So later on today at 3 o'clock, Witchy Goth will be going live. So do check out her YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed already, do check out her work. She does some great stuff, guys. Do want to get her to a point where she can activate memberships. She can take in super chats, just to kind of help support her there. She does have a buy me a coffee as well, if you want to support her through that as well. So do let's help get her up to 1,000 subscribers. I do want to help get her up to those numbers. So if you're not a subscriber to Witchy Goth, please consider subscribing to her channel. Then at 5 o'clock, Daily Blase will have his Friday Frolics, and absolutely a funny and amazing show with a great, fantastic community, just like the community we have here. If you're not already a subscriber to Dave Blase and that, do check out his work. It's a nice live stream on the Friday to kind of just wind down and just relax, not stress about the news and politics, and just have a bit of fun, because we kind of need that, when we're always looking at negative news. And then hopefully later on tonight, Max Robertsby will be going live on Discord, not on Discord, well, live on YouTube later on at 8:30 there as well. So just getting all that out the way. Billy Kershaw, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Jenny, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Unquiet Badger. Good to see you there as well. Stephen Banker, one of our moderators. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well there. Ellie, one of our newest moderators. Good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Martin, good morning to you. Very foggy today. Is it very foggy? Interesting. Good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. Martin, good morning to you. Excuse me. Hope you are doing well there. Wee Bud, good to see you there. Look in the chat. Hope you're doing well as well. We got the doctor in the house there. Good to see you, Doc Davis. Hope you are doing well. Scott Hayes says, good morning. Just will be listening in as I'm working on ladder, cutting off an ivory at the house cable end. No worries, Scott. So that's fine. Appreciate you lurking in the chat nonetheless, Scott. So thank you for listening in. Much appreciated there. Not a problem indeed. Not everyone can chat. Some people don't have time. All they got to do is listen. That's totally fine. Mandy, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well as well. Oh, let me just make sure I'm not missing anyone. Yep. That's Mandy. Oh, Martin, thank you so much for the £2 super chat from the Graham budget. Oh, the Granham budget. Thank you so much for that, Martin. That's very kind of you. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. Good morning, Dave McGuinness. Good to see you there. Appreciate your show as always. If you're not subscribed to the Two Davies, what are you doing, guys? Come on, make sure you subscribe to the Two Davies YouTube channel. He'll be back again on with another show on Monday at 10:30, as well as the Two Davies at 4 o'clock on Monday. So do check out their work there. Like I said, great community there as well. Sorry if I don't answer. I'm driving. No, you concentrate on driving, Martin. Don't you worry. You're totally fine, buddy. You're totally fine with that. Mel, good to see you there as well. Looking in chat. Hope you are doing well. Right, let's get straight into it, guys. Here is today's daily quote. It's an unknown one, guys. It's an unknown one, but you can see it here. There it is, the unknown one there. Very simple one indeed. And it says, spring. A lovely reminder of how beautiful change can truly bring. Be. I'm not getting it right. Do that again. Spring. A lovely reminder of how beautiful change can truly be. I say bring. Why did I say bring? I'll say it one more time. Make sure I'm not screwing up. Spring. A lovely reminder of how beautiful change can truly be. There we go. There we go. I deserve to hit myself in the head there because I really screwed that one up there. Like, it really is so obvious. I'll come to that super chat in just a moment, Scott. All right, let's have a look at the quotes for the weekend, because as you guys know, we don't do a Good Morning shows over the weekend. So here is Saturday's quote, guys. If you don't, obviously, if you want to, you can always follow me on my social medias. I post them every morning on Discord, regardless of what's going on. You always get the posts. I always post them every day on Discord if you want to know what the daily quote is, guys. So Saturday's one is from Will Rogers, and it says, "Don't let yesterday take up too much of today." Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. That is tomorrow's daily quote, guys, for Saturday. There it is there from Will Rogers. And finally for Sunday, here is Sunday's one from John Wooden. This is for Sunday for John Wooden. And it says, "Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do." So do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. And that is Sunday's daily quote there. That's a nice one there as well. I like that one. So there are your quotes for today, for tomorrow, and for Sunday. But like I said, you can always follow me on the social medias, and I post them on them as well. On Discord, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, pretty much all across the spectrum. If you want to find me on other social medias, there's a link down below called the Linktree. If you actually click that, it opens up all my social media links, so you can actually find stuff there as well. So Scott Hayes, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Something for the DPR. Something for the DPR. Pingu, you got some money in for the coffers. It's been a while, but they're still getting attacked by they're still having issues with the tariffs that's been imposed on them. Pingu, as said, they still can't get those tariffs away from McDonald's Island. He's constantly talking with Putin and the Briggs bloc. Pingu wanted to let you guys know the update on that. So thank you, Scott Hayes, for that £2 super chat. That will go towards the McDonald's, the funds towards McDonald's Island in the D. Good morning, person impersonator. No worries. Appreciate you saying hello. No worries. Like I said, not everyone can speak, so everyone's got things to do. So I do appreciate people listening in nonetheless. Right, let's get started with the weather. Let's see what the weather is forecasting here, guys. So I'm using the bbc.co.uk/weather map for reference for those who aren't aware as well. John, good morning to you. I just saw your name pop up in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Let's have a look at North America, starting there first. So we got Yellowknife, Churchill, both at -21. Very, very cold indeed. Anchorage, Anchorage. I know I'm mispronouncing the name, guys. -15 there in Alaska. Vancouver there sitting at 12 degrees with Winnipeg at 1. Ottawa at -2. Chicago 18. New York 13. Nashville 25. Denver hitting a nice warm 26 degrees. With San Diego 24 and San Francisco 21 respectively there. Miami there a nice 24 degrees with New Orleans hitting 23 currently. Mexico City there sitting at 18 with San Jose at 23. And a bit further south into the South American continent there. Temperatures in Rio de Janeiro sitting at 27. La Paz there in Bolivia at 14 degrees. Caracas there in Venezuela sitting at 24 degrees respectively there. Where Manaus there sitting at a nice warm 30 degrees with a fair share of rain taking place there. Interesting enough, I didn't know this. I didn't know snow actually forecasted in South America, but that I should know better there. You can see it down in Santiago there in Chile there. Going across here over into Africa here. There is some rain forecast on the continent there. Temperatures are still very, very warm there. Lagos there, very warm, 30 degrees there. With temperatures there, some Dar es Salaam there at 26 there. Windhoek at 25 and Cape Town there at a bit lower temperature there at 20 degrees there, respectively there. Crossing a bit further over, Auckland and Wellington 16 and 13 respectively there. With Australia, Darwin sitting at 26, Brisbane at 20, Perth at 22, Alice Springs at 20 degrees, with Melbourne at 14 there. Got Port Vila at 24 as well. Singapore at 27, the Philippines capital at 24 degrees, with Taiwan's capital at 20, Bangkok sitting on 29 degrees, very warm there indeed. Shanghai at 7, Beijing at 4, and Tokyo 7 degrees there. Crossing a bit further over, we have New Delhi there at 14 degrees, with Dhaka at 24 respectively there. In the Middle East, Tehran sitting at 11 with Baghdad at 18, Kuwait City sitting at 20, Riyadh at 22, Cairo there at 19 with Port Sudan a warm 25, with Khartoum there at 29 respectively there. And Tripoli there sitting at 15. Before we look at the rest of Europe, how's our friends in Iceland doing? They're at -1 degrees, covered in snow. They got them another snowstorm there. As for Europe, Madrid and Lisbon 14, 15 respectively there, with some showers down on the southwestern parts of Portugal there. Tunis there at 13, Algarve at 14, with Rome sitting at 13 degrees as well. Most of Europe appears to be dry here, with the south of France, Nice sitting at 14, Bern at 9, Paris at 13 there. Got Athens sitting at 11 degrees as well. Tarija at 13, Bucharest at 8, Chistu 8, Zagreb sitting at 10, Vienna 13, Kiev 7 degrees, very cold in Ukraine. Prague at 9, Berlin 8, and Poland's capital sitting at 7 degrees. Moscow, Chile 2 degrees, Volgograd 4, Riyadh 2, and St. Petersburg at 1. Oslo there sitting at 5 degrees respectively there. If we zoom a bit further in, we've got Brussels there just on the curves in Belgium there at 12 degrees. Edinburgh, Belfast, Dublin, Manchester, Cardiff, London, 12 and 13 degrees respectively. There is what is forecast. If I pull it back, it's supposed to be mainly dry. There may be a few cloudy clouds in some parts, but most of the UK should be dry. There's no signs of any weather whatsoever. Overnight, though, the temperatures do drop a little bit. So we can see these temperatures do get very cold, but during the days, it's going to be fine. Excuse me. There will be some tiny bits of showers overnight, but then nothing really to worry about. Right at the top of north of Scotland, most of that will fade away for the next day there. Saturday is expected to be a really nice day here. We'll be a bit chilly in the early mornings of Saturday, but if you go a bit further on, you can see those temperatures there. Some as high as 14, 13 degrees. This is a good time if you want to. If you've got kids, take them to the coast if you can, or go out and do some stuff rather than sitting indoors. There are wrestling shows I want to watch, but I'd rather actually go and do something this weekend with my partner rather than watch them. I can watch them another time, to be fair. But going a bit further on, you can see these temperatures again, 16 degrees. Again, no sign of rain or snow. So with the temperatures, but the temperatures do drop off a little bit there. We can see going overnight here, those temperatures do drop off overnight. So I would just say, just bear in mind, obviously, and I'm sure you guys have noticed it. It gets very cold in the nights, but the temperature comes back up quite a fair bit during the day. Yeah. So while of course you may feel too warm after a long day, bear in mind the temperatures do drop significantly overnight. So just bear. I mean, I'm sure you guys are already aware of that, but just bear that in mind. Sunday again, the temperatures drop, but they'll pick back up. There was a tiny bit of showers in the northern parts of Scotland, but it'll dissipate, guys. I won't worry too much about that. Again, it's going to be a bit cloudy. Most of Scotland and Northern Ireland and parts of Northern England, they'll be covered in a bit of a dry cloud, but there's no forecast of rain. So I wouldn't worry. So it's just cloud. There's no forecast of rain whatsoever expected. For some reason, there may be some snow forecast late Sunday evening in the very northern parts of Scotland. Don't know how realistic that is, but I would just take it with a pinch of salt. I would there. But going into from Sunday night into Monday morning, these are what temperatures we're expecting. 4, 3, 4, 5, 7 degrees. Here, again, it can be very, very cold. But if you go into Monday morning, here, Monday morning, again, it'll be nice and dry here. Temperatures do start to pick back up. But you can already see, guys, there's this massive rainstorm out on the ocean there. But if I pull it a bit further over, that does hit part of Scotland. Sorry, guys. So later on in the afternoon, maybe even the evening, you will encounter some of that, depending on where you live in Scotland. So that is gonna come through. Overnight, again, just have a look at overnight into Tuesday before we look at the news. So parts of Scotland are going to be experiencing a bit of wet weather overnight. If I pull it to Tuesday, 6 o'clock in the morning, these are what temperatures we're expecting. 7, 6, 8, 9 in here. Going a bit further on to Tuesday lunchtime, bizarrely, they're forecasting snow in parts of Scotland, in parts of the Highlands and whatnot, despite increase in temperatures here. So there is going to be some showers in parts of Wales, parts of England, there's even potential snow forecast in parts of Ireland there as well, which is a bit odd. I'm not sure how realistic that's going to settle, but I would expect some of that to wash away quite quickly there. There's this thick snowstorm, looks like it's going to be coming in as well from the looks of it here for Tuesday. Well, yeah, it looks like it's going to drop quite a bit. Yeah, just having a look here. So this is what they're forecasting for. Yeah, they're forecasting snow for Tuesday and Wednesday next week in parts of Northern Ireland, Scotland, maybe even parts of England and Wales. Yeah, there's there's a nice drop in temperature there. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll check it again on Monday. But for the weekend, guys, mainly enjoy the weather is the key thing. Enjoy the weather. It's not going to be too much, no very tiny little bit of rain maybe in Scotland, but that's about it. Is the message I have for you guys there. So don't sit indoors this weekend is the message I have for you guys. If you've make plans, get out there, enjoy it, because you don't know how often we get those kind of dry days. Is my message to you guys. Let me just scroll up just to see I've not missed. Just checking I've not missed any super chats there. Good morning, Jal. Thank you for popping in. Much appreciated. I will see you. We'll have you. Or obviously, you'll be there for next Monday's evening's live stream. Jal, I have said to you, if you're still there, please reach out to me via email as well if you can. I do have a public email. If you can reach out to me, because I'd like to have you on the channel at one point, my friend. If you can, it would be greatly appreciated. Right, let's have a look at the news here. Going to start with The Guardian here. Of course, they've got a fitness app. Of course, they've got. The UK is letting US use its bases as participation in aggression Iran's foreign minister tells Yvette Cooper there. And he's right. Whatever you might think of Iran, originally I was in favour of the UK doing this, but the more this goes on, the more I'm inclined to think, yeah, maybe we shouldn't be allowing the US to use our bases, because it does send a message of an act of aggression here. So we'll try to go this weekend. We'll send a contact. Yeah, it's a public email address. It's on the front of the YouTube channel, Jal. You can just reach out to there. Let me know it's you, and we'll go from there. All right. Thank you. Agis Agariki said the decision to allow the use of RS Fairfoot and Diego Garcia will be recorded in the history of relations between Iran and UK. So, yeah, obviously they're not happy there. Some of the live feed here, it says government is to fund cleanup of the worst illegal waste sites as an action plan is being launched. Zach Polanski says he wants the Greens to hold the balance of power after the election, letting them push for proportional representation and wealth tax. Proportional representation will be the big thing, because that will give the Greens more power, and it'll give people more of a voice in elections. Reform Russia brushes off the concerns about extremism of some of its MSP candidates, with one saying Hama Yusuf is not British. The Korean newspaper reported on Friday that its candidate for North East 5, Liza Zahoy, described Yusuf, the UK's first Muslim First Minister, as not British and a grandstanding Islamic moron in a social media post. Like, this, we are normalizing this language. This should be outrageous. Every single paper in Scotland should be saying this minister should not be standing. This reform and should be kicked out the party. It's disgusting. It's racist. It's immoral. But we're barely hearing I'm like, and I was listening to Dave McGuinness' show. I don't recall this being brought up on the papers. Maybe it was just me, but like, I know some people aren't a fan of Yusuf, and that's fine. But to claim that he's not British and a grandstanding Islamic moron, like, it's just so racist. It's just so racist. Offord told the Courier, I can't comment on individual cases. We've only just announced the 73 candidates. What I'm very clear about is that we've done a very thorough vetting of these. Inevitably, there might be some comments people have made in the past. We've made all those comments in the past. What? Being anti-British? Absolutely outrageous. It's just absolutely disgusting. Let's read more in this, what the Iranian foreign minister has said. He said these actions will definitely be considered as participation in aggression and will be recorded in the history of relations between the two countries. At the same time, we reserve our inherent right to defend the country's sovereignty and independence. The UK has faced repeated criticisms from Donald Trump since the war began, and is among countries the US president has frequently betrayed for failing to respond to his request for support in the Strait of Hormuz. This morning's oil and gas prices retreated after painful cost spikes this previous week, and financial markets calmed at the end of another turbulent week. Trust me, they're going to do something insane when the markets closed at the end of today, guys. Because that's what America does. They're going to do something insane and stupid. Reform UK record in local government shows it doesn't accept the need for evidence-based policy, report says. What? The comments might have only been made this morning, possibly. Viper Scott, possibly. Good to see you there and lurking in the chat. Here's an extract from the conclusion to the report from the Graham Institute of Climate Change and Environment on Reform UK's approach to climate change and in the councils it's run. The key finding from its study is that councils led by Reform Russia are largely delivering on the party's pledge to scrap net zero at a local level, and that scrapping net zero is not only a policy position but signals a broader retreat from taking climate change seriously. This takes the form of both climate change delay where commitments are weakened or deferred, and outright climate change denial, where the anthropoceanic origin of climate change is rejected. Voters should be aware that this is the case, despite the party's lack of explicit position on climate change. The promotion of climate change denied by both its national leadership and many of its local councillors indicate that Reform Russia is failing to recognise the growing risks that British public face from climate change impacts, including rising sea levels, heavier rainfall, and more intense heat waves. It also demonstrates that the party does not accept the need for evidence-based policy making. Yeah, that's the key thing. They don't care about the policies, and they're not interested in the policy makings there. Hopefully I'm gonna record that video at some point, guys. This story here from the Attorney General is asked if Kemi Badenoch would object to Jewish public prayers. This is in relation, obviously, to the Shadow Justice, I believe it's Shadow Justice Minister, who basically was called out at PMQs for basically saying he has a problem with Muslims praying there. And by the way, the Attorney General is Jewish as well, by the way. So just wanted to put that out there as well. Labour will be decimated in May's local elections, Unite leader says. Yep, that's true. That's definitely going to happen at the moment. Yeah, we just looked at that study there, that right-wing narratives fueling false belief. Yep. Nigel Farage condemned over call to ban public prayer for Muslims in the UK. I don't have the voice to scream and shout, guys, about this as much as I want to. But it's just it's just racist. It's just racist, that is. It is just racist. No, there's no way around it. Tens of thousands of prisoners in England and Wales at risk of cell fires. The government has re-engaged on a pledge to make all prison cells fire safe or take them out of use by the end of next year, meaning thousands of prisoners in England and Wales will remain at risk. The Ministry of Justice has admitted it has known for almost 2 decades, 20 years, that about a quarter of prison places are unsafe, putting the people housed in affected cells at risk. Successive governments have pledged to remove the situation by the end of 2027, but that commitment has now been dropped, and the government has not set a new date. Earlier this week, The Guardian reported on the inquest of Claire Dupree, a woman with severe mental illness who died in a fire in her cell at HMP Eastwood. The inquest jury found that there had been missed opportunities to prevent Dupree's death, and that a lack of automatic in-cell fire detection caused a delay in detecting the fire. There have been at least 8 other deaths in cell fires in prisons since 2011, and the independent fire safety regulator, the Crown's Premise Fire Safety Inspectorates, the CPFSI, reports that 44% of prisoners in England are awaiting installation of automatic fire detections. The Howard League, a Pentel reform charity, has threatened the government with legal action if it does not remedy the situation, saying it is legally and morally incumbent on the ministers to keep people in prisons safe. In correspondence between the Howard League and the Ministry of Justice on January 16th, the MOJ lawyers, it had been apparent for some time, but prison cells require in-cell AFDs to mitigate fire risk, and that the lack of such AFDs in cells pose significant fire risks that needs to be addressed. The lawyers added the MOJ accepts that there are cells at each of the 5 prisons that are not currently equipped with in-cell AFDs. I don't. It says 20 years, so you can't. So it's a failure of both main governments, really, with that one. Some of the world's poorest countries to lose UK aid due to 56% of the budget cuts. UK's bilateral aid to African countries, which funds areas such as schools and clinics, are to be cut by almost £900 million by 2028-2029. This is such a sad state of affairs. This is directly going to cause people to die. And the thing is, and this is the heartbreaking thing, unless someone else steps in with the money to help these areas where the funds are needed, they're either gonna die off, or they're going to immigrate into Europe or America. Or at least try to, because they have absolutely nothing. This is only going to fuel global migration. So if you're somebody that has a problem with immigration and you want immigration on a global scale to be reduced, this is doing the opposite of that. This decision is doing the opposite of that. Some of the world's poorest countries will lose out on UK aid that funds programs such as schools and clinics due to budget cuts set out by the Foreign Secretary. The UK's bilateral aid to African countries will be reduced by almost £900 million by 2028-2029, a 56% cut as parts of more than £6 billion in cuts which are funding an increase in defence spending. All for weapons and arms. Aid agencies said these cuts would be the steepest in the G7, leaving the UK's reputation in tatters and a poorer, more unequal and unstable world for us all. Labour MPs have privately expressed scepticism that the cuts have done much to achieve their desired intentions to bolster UK military spending in an uncertain world, because the long delay in the defence investment plan and demands for billions more in spending from military chiefs in the wake of the Iran-US conflict. The 40% reduction in UK aid spending, which MPs voted back last year, will mean all aid spending being cut to all G20 countries except Turkey, and the majority is now focused on conflict zones, primarily Palestine, Sudan, and Ukraine. But there are plenty of other countries, as I'm sure you are aware, where there are conflicts taking place, like what's happening in Congo, what's happening in Somalia. Those are just two examples there. Spending will be protected this year for Lebanon, a decision signed off by officials on Wednesday night. Because of the intensity of the current offensive from Israel, the overhaul means 70% of all support will be allocated for the most fragile and conflict-affected area states by 2029. Countries such as Afghanistan, Somalia and Yemen will be among those facing cuts. Yemen is suffering a lot. It's not a country that I've covered enough, but it's a country that's been going in a civil war for a long time, and its people have gone through hell. It's another nation we don't talk enough about. Though Yvette Cooper, the Foreign Secretary, said they will still receive funding from multinational aid agencies. Countries such as Mozambique and Pakistan will have almost all their development aid cut, replaced by Partnership for Investment. The crisis reserve for humanitarian emergencies has also been cut through less than expected, from 85 to 75 million. This, for us, is not an ideological step, but it's a difficult choice in the face of international threats, Cooper said. It's a choice. This is a choice by the UK government. And it was not in their manifesto. It's important to point that out as well. All for buying more tanks and guns and drones. UK letting US use its base. Yet we've seen that piece already. Fire experts losing sleep over growing hazard on lithium-ion batteries. Essex police pause facial recognition cameras use after studying finds racial bias. UK household energy bills to Great Britain could rise by almost £2,000 a year amid the Iran shock. Got to respond to it. Can't ignore it, government. You can't ignore it. JP Morgan Chase to use computer estimates to monitor hours worked by junior bankers. Spy on your workers. Yeah, that's definitely going to be fine. Marmite maker in talks to merge food business with US-based McCormack. Another... Can we stop giving our businesses and our... Can we stop giving everything to the bloody Americans? Like, can we keep some... Can we keep some things in our own house? Like, is that really so hard? I hate that so much. Hate it. It's going to kill my voice ears. God damn it. I hate it so much. Let's see what you guys are saying in chat. We have a massive hire scheme for electric scooters. People have them everywhere. Sometimes 10 plus blocking paths. Says Mel there. Are they copying the USA policy? I think the UK was already planning to do this before America was announcing these significant cuts in their aid budget. I don't think it's a case of the UK following America. I think the UK were already going to be doing this. Which is still, regardless of whether they were following the US or not, it's still disgusting to cut aid. In a time where aid is more needed than ever. We're going backwards, literally, on it. Good morning, Witchy Goth. Hope you are doing well. Just a reminder, Witchy Goth going live later on today at 3 o'clock. Reg, good to see you there in the chat as well. Hope you are doing well. This is articles from the Associated Press. We're having a look, see what they're saying here today. Let's have a look at the live feed from the Associated Press. So saying Israeli strikes hit Tehran on Persian's New Year as Iranian drones target Gulf's energy sites. 55 minutes ago, Israel army said it's begun striking targets in Iran's east of Tehran. That's about an hour ago. What else have they got? Israeli reserve soldier arrested on suspicion of spying for Iran, apparently. Sri Lanka says it's rejected Iran and US military visit request. Revolutionary Guard spokesperson has been killed in an airstrike. Iran's supreme leader calls for security to be taken from enemies. Kuwait says drone hits Mina al-Moradi refinery again. Refinery being struck again. Israel said it struck Syrian military post after attack on Druze. Oh, for God's sake! Again in that area. Benjamin Netanyahu said yesterday that Iran no longer has the ability to enrich uranium or make ballistic missiles. War objectives previously cited by the Trump administration. Israel will hold off on any further attacks on the Iranian gas fields, Netanyahu added, at the request of US President Donald Trump. They will do it later on because Trump will forget. They'll just wait for Trump to forget. Palestinian Red Crescent said at least 4 people were killed in the occupied West Bank. West Bank attacks are still happening, guys. West Bank attacks are still happening. But they don't want to talk about it. Yeah, Trump cites Pearl Harbor to defend Iran war decision, which is, yeah, the if you haven't seen the clip, I do recommend checking it out. It's just absolutely insane. This is just absolutely shocking. So disrespectful to so disrespectful to Japan, and you know, and I'm not like I don't know enough about Japanese politics, but like to bring up Pearl Harbor.
Of course, no, Japan and US are very good friends, but one question: why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay?
Like, why would you say that? Like, that's not a fucking joke. That's not a fucking joke. It's like, I'm not even...
Right? You know, he's asking me, no, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out, the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50% of what we, and much more.
You can just tell on her face how uncomfortable that made her. Like, you can tell. But it's very, very uncomfortable for her. Like, and again, I don't know enough. I'm told she's right wing. I've been told that she's a right wing. She's right wing. I don't know enough about Japanese politics because I know she's making some drastic changes in Japan. She's trying to make some big changes in terms of politics and whatnot. But like Pearl Harbor is a very sensitive subject to bring up as well. He really just does not care, guys. He really, really does not. Again, just a reminder of it. Like, he thinks it's a joke. Like, it's just ridiculous. Democrats aim to turn Trump's tariffs against GOP in campaigns for governor there. Student loans are to go to the Treasury Department as Trump continues to dismantle the Education Department. I hate that he's dismantling the Education Department. It's literally like saying to me, who cares about education? That's literally what Donald Trump wants to do. He wants to destroy any kind of educational system in America, which is insane. Judge rules U.S. government overreach with transgender health care declaration. So a federal judge said the government's overreached by issuing a declaration that calls treatments like puberty blockers and surgeries unsafe and ineffective for young people experiencing gender dysphoria, according to a ruling on Thursday. Judge ruling was centered on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. not going through the proper administrative procedures when issuing the declaration in December. The declaration also warned doctors they could be excluded from federal health programs like Medicare and Medicaid if they provided these treatments. The judge also denied the defendant's motion to dismiss the case. The judge ruling at the end of roughly 6-hour hearing and will be followed by a written decision. Today's win breaks through the noise and gives some need to clarity to patients, families and providers, said the New York Attorney General Leah James, who led the lawsuit. In a statement on Thursday, she said healthcare service for transgender young people will remain legal and the federal government cannot intimidate or punish the providers who offer them. It says that a spokesperson for HHS did not really respond to a request for comment. My worry is that they may appeal it to the Supreme Court. New York Times reported that the judge spoke about the broader implications associated with the case, especially as it relates to democracy. It says, notion that I will go forward and issue a declaration to see if we can get away with it. It's not a principle of government that adheres to overreaching commitment and a democratic republic that requires the rule of law to be regarded and respected and honoured as a sacred, the judge said. The decision is a second major legal setback for Kennedy and the US Department of Health and Human Services this week, after a federal judge in Boston on Monday temporarily blocked several of Kennedy's vaccine policy changes. The judge ruled Kennedy likely violated federal procedures in revamping a key vaccine advisory committee and slimming down the childhood vaccine schedule without the committee's input. Federal officials have indicated that they plan to appeal the ruling. Yeah, just to step over all experts on this kind of stuff. A coalition of 19 states in the District of Columbia in December sued HHS, Kennedy, and his Inspector General over the declaration, alleging that it is inaccurate and unlawful to ask the court to block its enforcement. The lawsuit said the HHS declaration seeks to coerce providers to stop providing gender-affirmative care and circumvent legal requirements for policymakers. It also says that federal law requires the public to be given notice of an opportunity to comment before subsequently changing health policy, neither of which the suit says was done before the declaration was issued. Of course, they want to do this all behind people's backs. They don't want you knowing about it. They want to do this all hush hush and not that. No consultations, no discourse whatsoever. Just saying, we're going to do this and that's it. Like that's, and it's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. And not even with the experts as well. I said in the past about Kennedy actually killing Americans. This is another example of him wanting to kill them. Another example of it. Enjoy your run, Richie Goff. Make sure you guys check out her live stream later on today at 3 o'clock, guys. Make sure you do. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. Did he warn them about Nagasaki or Hiroshima? Probably, but he probably forgot, Martin, most likely. Ukraine faces growing pressure because of the war in Iran as Russia leads a new offensive. Yep, sadly, this is not good for Ukraine, what's happening here. Teen's daughter of North Korea leader Kim drives a tank while observing the drill of her father. Cesar Chavez's name, once an honor, now carries a stain that officials want to scrub. The body of an American student who went missing in Barcelona has been found, police in Spain have said. Epstein's former attorney tells the White House panel he didn't know about the abuse. Another person who didn't know nothing about what was going on, guys. I suppose it's all fine then. Democrats stormed out of Justice Department's leaders' briefings on the Epstein files. Was it because they didn't give you any information? Democrat lawmakers on Wednesday stormed out of a closed-door briefing on the Epstein files by the Justice Department leaders and said they would push to force Attorney General Pam Bondi to answer questions under oath about the case that's plagued the Trump administration. Bondi and Todd Blanchard went to Capitol Hill trying to quell bipartisan frustration over the Justice Department's handling of millions of files related to the Epstein files. But less than an hour into the briefing, Democrats walked out in protest of the arrangement. They said they would press to enforce a subpoena for Bondi to appear at a sworn deposition next month. We want her under oath because we do not trust her. Yep. Asked by reporters about the briefing whether she would comply with the subpoena, Bondi says, I'll make it crystal clear I will follow the law. She also defended the department's handling the Epstein file, saying officials are proud to work to release millions of documents for the public. No, you fucked it up. You fucked it up so much because you released people's names that you weren't supposed to release. You redacted names that should not have been redacted. Victims' names were made public that shouldn't have been made public. You tried to cover up Trump, but Trump's name still appeared in millions of documents. Like, the way you guys have handled this has been nothing short of shambolic. Shambolic. It's the only word I can describe it. Not done a great job. Done a crap job of it. Pissed off a lot of people. Cuba readiness for first Russian oil shipment of the year as energy crisis deepens. How are they getting Russian oil? Exactly. Are they just going to go straight through them? Dozens of boys and young men are dying in South Africa's traditional circumcision rites. Oh my God. I am not reading that. I look at the world celebrations for Eid around the world. Oh, I should tell you all as well, guys. Today is... I think it's International Happiness Day as well. I think it is today as well, guys. So, say something you need to be happy about as well there. Celebrations for all those who celebrate Eid, if there's any in the chat there as well. Kim Jong-un sits in the tank with his daughter at military exercise. Oh, my days. A real possum appears among plush toy animals in the Australian gift shop. Any other wacky stories here? Not really here. No, not really. There. Let's switch gears and have a look at another feed. Still got... if we can get today's Super Chat goal, that'd be appreciated, guys, as well, if you want to help towards that as well. Release the names of the threat to other victims to stay quiet, says Billy Kershaw. Yeah. I know, it's disgusting. What the way they're handling the Epstein files is, it's disgusting. It's just so little, no contempt whatsoever for the victims. No contempt whatsoever. None at all. Starmer insists he understands the pressures on families as they face further bills increase. Does he? Does he really, though? Angela Reynolds slammed over negative intervention. Oh, too bad. She's made her point. Starmer's made too many missteps. Yeah, we've seen that video clip on Wednesday night. The custodian bows out with some farewell advice. Exclusive from their Labour left unite behind major reset. Calling fresh challenge to Starmer. Yeah, because they don't care about the unions. You know, they don't care about the unions. Another exclusive, Arena eyeing frontline politics return, with allies confident the tax probe will end by May elections. Now, that's the story, but we don't know that yet. This story is not going away either. Rwanda demands more than £100 million from the UK over failed migrant deportation deal, guys. I have a very simple solution to dealing with this £100 million demand from Rwanda, and that is send a tab to the Conservative Party, because they are the ones who put it through. The bill should be charged to the Conservative Party. No ifs, no buts. It should come straight out of the Conservative Party's coffers. It really should. It really, really should. I'm not joking. It really should. John Major attacks Trump on Iran, and Starmer's tiptoeing approach to the president there as well. Let's have a look at the front of Sky News here. War set to drive spike in household bills. First lab-grown Oslofemis successfully implanted in pigs. Any other stories that we haven't seen here? Young earners to have thousands added to student loans repayments. Hate that system. I've already said, yeah, we should just pay it off. Pay it straight off, guys. We really, really should there. With regards to people's student loans, the government should pay it for them, pay it out. State should fund it. Education. State should fund the education. IRGC spokesperson killed in US-Israeli missile attack as the war in Iran escalates. How the US policy has harmed the environment for decades there. It helps us survive. Poverty forces children. Oh my God. Poverty forces children to work the mines in Democratic Republic of Congo. Congolese authorities say 70 children died in a landslide at the Rubiard mine, a source of much of the world's coltan. It's more than a month after the mine collapse in eastern Congo's city of Rabelia killed hundreds of people. Heavy rain once again slashes the area, destabilizing the open, steep mine slopes and causing other deadly landslides. In the aftermath of the March the 3rd disaster, the Congolese government said 200 people had died at the Kassia mining site, including 70 children, the majority of them laborers in arsenal mining operations in the resource-rich city. 15-year-old Mishkival, that's not his real name, was one of the children who survived that day, now recovering at an undisclosed location in the city of Goma, some 60 kilometers away. He tries not to think about the trauma he suffered and his friends he's lost. But he says he will soon have to return to the mines because he has no other choice. Rubiard in eastern DRC, North Kivu province, is a town that sits on the stores of coltan, tin and tungsten, some of the world's most valuable minerals that are essential for use in modern technology. But many of those who mine these raw materials used in smartphones and electric cars, especially the children, say they don't know what material is used for, and their main concern is just getting enough to make a daily living, because they don't care, they just want to live. They just want to live. Nogashko, the eldest of 3 children, has worked as an artisanal miner in Rubia for the past 4 years to support his family. This is children. Though child labour is technically illegal in the DRC, much of the informal mining sector is unregulated. I'll come to those super chats in a moment, Viper Scott, bear with me. In Rubiard and towns around it, the situation is further complicated by violence between the Congolese armies and various armed groups. Chief among them is the Rwanda-backed M23 rebels that seized control of the Rubiard in 2024, before taking other key cities, including Goma, last year. This is so heartbreaking. A young labourer arranges oxygen cables for installation to the new mine shaft. Look how young he is. These are kids. That's absolutely terrible. It's really heartbreaking to read this story, guys. And there's a video of it as well. I don't know if I want to watch the video. I think it's going to make me upset. Let me just scroll up here. Sorry, 1 second. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the £2 super chat. It says to hit that. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it there. The goal for another £2 super chat there. Thank you there. Appreciate it. Confetti time, says Viper Scott. Thank you so much for helping me achieve today's super chat goal. Thank you to everyone who sent super chats today. Much appreciated. Thank you there. And Martin Harrow says, with a £2 super chat, shamed by Alistair. What? What did he do wrong? He did. Is he being too generous? He is being very generous. You know, Viper Scott is very, very generous. Honestly, guys. Thank you, Martin, for £2 super chat. Honestly, Viper, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your support. Very, very kind of you. There. Really, really thank you so much, guys. Yeah, please give Witchigoff some love later on at 3 o'clock if you can, guys. It'd be much appreciated. Why am I listening to this? I need to listen to this, guys.
This was Rubaya in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, just one day before a mine collapse killed many. We filmed these images while hundreds of artisanal miners were walking underground, including Hakizimana Damaru, alongside his colleagues inside the pit. Today, this is Rubaya after the collapse. Tunnels buried, tools abandoned, and families searching for answers. Many miners who were underground at the time, including those we interview, are now missing. There is still no confirmation whether they are alive or dead.
My name is Hakizimana Damaru. I am an artisanal miner. I work here digging minerals at the Kakombe site.
For the past 5 years, this mine had transformed his life. Hakizimana told us how the work allowed him to support his family, feeding his children, sending them to school and building a home. Mining here means daily income, paid in cash based on how much you dig. Hard work, but reliable, he said.
When I started working here, I had nothing. Now I have a house, land to farm, and my children go to school. This job made me to be able to live as a man.
Rubaya lies in an area controlled by M23 rebels, but miners like Hakizimana insisted politics stayed outside the pit. They dig, sell locally, and go home. What happens beyond the mine, he said, it's not their concern. Survival is.
Our work is not mixed with politics or the military. We are only miners. We dig and sell locally. What happens after that is not our responsibility.
A day later, the ground gave way. According to the military governor of North Kivu province, at least 200 miners were killed. The Congolese government and M23 rebels have accused each other over responsibility for the tragedy. Although the area is under M23 control, the group says it does not run the mine, adding that an investigation into the collapse is underway and that measures have been taken to prevent further accidents. In Goma, families are mourning without answers. Many still don't know if their relatives were inside the collapse pits or whether they will ever recover their bodies. Hakizimana was told us the Rubaya mine was the backbone of life here. Today, the pits that sustain families have become mass graves where survival and daily risk finally collided.
Look at that little kid. Look at that little kid.
Alenu Aikani.
Look, here's my 2 cents on this, okay? Okay, because I totally get his point of this gives him a house, gives him a life and all that kind of stuff. Totally understand that. Completely understand that. And not caring about the politics and whatnot. And just wants a life. Totally understand that point of view. I honestly do, guys. I really, really do. And I'm sure all of you guys can understand that as well. Given the lives that they are in out there. You know, they just want to be able to make a living and live a life, right? Totally understand that, right? But the thing that pisses me off, right, is these resources, they go towards, like, the technology and to all the technology and parts and bits and whatnot that we have around us in our lives, right? The lives that we have, right? And I just feel like, imagine if we just put some of that money that gives us the technology and the things that we have. Just imagine just a small percentage of that money went back towards actually making sure that these people were all given hard hats, high-waist vest, proper, sustainable, the materials they need to build safe structures for these mines, you know, masks to protect their breathing, like all the things that would keep them safe, things that would actually go towards protecting these miners and keeping them safe, so that their lives are not shorter later on in life, you know, because their lives will be shortened by this, like, later on in their lives, because they're doing this for a living. That's the way I look at this. I'm thinking like some of the money that's made off all these minerals and whatnot should go back, to these to making sure that these workers are working in a safe environment. And let's be absolutely clear, we know they're not. We can tell from the images. We can tell it's not a safe environment for them. They're getting the bare minimum of things. But I just wish so much money is made from foreign companies and businesses and whatnot off what these guys are doing. They're giving them enough money for them to be able to have all decent lives, all of them who work part of these mines, and they don't care at the end of the day. But I care about their well-being. I want them to be able to have high-vis vests, proper lights, goggles, gas masks, everything. Steel-toe cap boots. You know, all the essentials they need to be able to mine safely. But that's not the world we live in, I'm afraid. I'm actually glad that we kind of dived into that, because it really does open your minds up reminds us about, you know, where some of the things, you know, the materials and whatnot for the technology that we use today, where it comes from, how it's dug up. And I think that's really, really important to remind us, You know, I mean this sincerely. I'm glad that people out there get a life, that have a life. I'll be able to get a home, especially in a country as poor and decimated as Congo is, because it is very, very rough out there. I can never imagine what it's like there for people living out there. But I just want them to, if they have to work that kind of job, I mean, it's not, the children should not have to do it. The children should not have to do it, really, at all. There should not be any child labour at all. But, you know, it's a much bigger, wider issue. It's not just the government. It's the corruption is just beyond comprehension in there, and obviously the civil war, of course, as well. There's just so many complications for the Democratic Republic of Congo, you know. And that's just my humanity coming in, guys. That really is. So, in all seriousness, like I just hope that that something changes at some point in the future. I really, really do. Guys, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who came along today. Thank you for everyone who watched this live stream here on the Good Morning Show. If you guys want to head over to Different Bias, Phil Morehouse, he should be going live right now on his YouTube channel. If you want to hear some politics, news and politics from his perspective. I don't know when Graham Hughes is going live again, because he's still in Ginger Island, I believe. But I think it'll be around about 1 o'clock. He might go live, roughly based on the times he's been going live. So maybe there. Witchigoth will be live at 3 o'clock. Make sure you do check out her work and give her some love for me, guys. And Daily Blase's Friday Frolics will be at 5 p.m. A. Thompson will be live at around about 7:30-ish as well, if you want to check out his work. And then Max Robertsby will be live at 8:30 tonight as well. But I'm done for live streams, guys. I'll be back live again on Monday at 11 a.m. Going to try and record some stuff over the next couple of days for you guys over the weekend as well. Please enjoy the weekend. Please get out the house. It's really, really going to be decent weather pretty much wherever you are in the UK. So please do that, guys, if you can. But just before you go, if you can, please hit that like button. Share this across social media. Subscribe if you haven't to already. Check out Rumble and Patreon, because like I said, there'll be additional content dropping on those platforms. Not just today, but also over the weekend. So you get a bit extra content if you guys want to check them out as well. And thank you all so much for watching. And I hope to catch you all very, very soon.